Okay. Hey, good morning. Thanks for being in this call. Okay. Um, first off, I heard a bit from um Carl, um, who kind of reported that she got a lot of insights from last time and she started to change things. Tama ba? Intindi ko, Carl?
Yes
Pinig ba
po.
tayo?
Opo.
Yeah,
Opo.
hang on. I wonder who Kyle Vincent is. Hi. Guys, I'm letting in virtual strangers unless you happen to know them also on the call. This is probably via Ken's group. So, since I wasn't able to make arrangements with Ken, we'll just um, let them in for the moment. Okay. So let's just remind you to um, if it's something more private, we could talk about it in like a closed room where everybody knows each other better. Okay. And I don't have to super know details to be able to help you. And we could do that if there are more private details. You could just withhold them, and we could talk about them in a more comfortable space. Just because I just let other people in. Okay. Yeah. So good morning again. Thanks for you were sharing, Carl, that you picked up a few things already and you've changed a few things. Kind of. Yeah.
I started like
Okay.
because previously I couldn't even have the courage to start on looking for the accommodation, like because of the discomfort of
It's just a little choppy, so we're kind of losing you. Yeah. Just because of discomfort of. Okay. Okay.
after I started looking like downgrade. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
When I
Okay.
get back, by then I will like finalize. But I started moving.
Okay. Okay. I hope you find arrangements that you can make work. Okay. I'd like to highlight something. Okay. And this was the content of a bit of the first and the third calls. Okay. There's how things are, and they can definitely be shitty. I get that. Okay. But there's how we make them out to be in our heads by no fault of ours. Okay. And unfortunately, the worlds we make up in our heads, for all practical purposes, that's reality because it looks real to us. It feels real to us. And unfortunately, it is real for us until we see that things aren't as we imagined, right? Because sometimes they genuinely are bad or genuinely are worse than we thought. You know, some people are clueless. They don't examine their life or their finances or their interactions, and they have a rose-colored look at life, and then they discover things are, you know, they have to get in shape because things are going to go bad over the long term. Okay, and on the other hand, it can be pretty bad, but very, very often we make it worse in our minds than it actually is. Right? And that's a very dangerous game to play at because you you start eroding or you start destroying hope. And hope is one of the stronger sustaining forces that we could use. And it's a very dangerous game when we start to erode that or destroy that. Is this kind of making sense, Carl?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. There's how things actually are, and there's how things look in our heads, and it's a pretty dark place sometimes in our heads, and it's definitely going to be colored by our emotions. So, even in conflict management, when people are the angriest, they feel the most correct, and they're usually the most wrong. When you're really, really angry, you're very, very sure that you're very, very correct, and very often you're very, very wrong. Okay, but there's that there's that element of the emotions coloring your entire experience of life. Okay. And it cripples your ability to actually function in the world. Does that kind of make sense? Yeah. Okay. I'll extend that. Carl. I've done a whole, because I needed to do a course for an international audience. So I've done a whole round of intensive looking at all of the science and studying procrastination, the not doing things that you should be doing, and the very often doing other things that you shouldn't be doing. That keeps you from doing the things you actually should be doing. The postponement of work, so to speak, the postponement of what we should be tending to. So procrastination is actually, with all the amount of studying and in-depth look and personal practice, since I've been a master procrastinator for a while. So I had to study it first and foremost for myself. This is why I do these things. First and foremost, I need to help me so I can help other people better. The long and short is, even procrastination, you think it's a practical thing? No, it's very often an emotional thing. Okay? The root of it is actually emotional. We don't do certain things because it feels painful to do them. Okay? And we end up doing other things, whether that's oversleeping and doing nothing, or just watching Netflix nonstop, or, entertainment, or, I don't know, treating your family to crazy vacations, whatever. Because that's less painful. So it's a hedonistic response, sure, but it's more than that. It's covering up the thing we should be doing, because it feels in the moment, with the emotional tone and color, too painful to do the thing we actually should be doing. And unfortunately, procrastination pushes us, rather than just like a productivity thing or a corporate thing. Procrastination is actually also about the work of our lives, the things we'd like to do, the connections we'd like to make, the memories we'd like to have, the experiences we'd like to engage ourselves in. And what happens is we aren't able to do those things of our life. We end up doing other things, and it's really just a distraction and a diversion. Okay? Is this making sense so far?
Yes.
Yeah, I hope that's helped, and I hope you notice the reason why I can help you better is that you're expressing yourself. You've told me a little about your situation, and you're genuine and honest about it, and I can really see how that's the way it looked to you. Okay? And so I can help you with that. Other people, if they don't want to speak, unfortunately, I can't help them better. Okay? But since you did that brave step, it's a very brave step, honestly, because it's a procrastination thing. Also, you could avoid it, or you could confront it. Okay? And the way to make the demons under your bed disappear is to actually go in there and look. It's a scary thing. Yeah, it's a scary thing to look under your bed. It's a scary thing to look in your closet for all your skeletons. It's a scary thing, even more than, some secrets spilled out into the world. Sometimes we're trying to keep ourselves from the secrets we hold from ourselves. Yeah, and it's a mess, really. Okay, and even that is procrastination. The avoidance of things we actually should be doing, more than just a productivity for the world thing, but a useful thing for us to be able to move in the world and participate in it. Okay, we withhold too many of the more useful, longer term things by diverting ourselves with, just something to keep us occupied. Now, I'll make a distinction now. It is possible to do some things that, just limit the amount of pain, or help us for the meantime, because that's what we need for the moment. So no need to berate ourselves for that. Some things happen. There are some things we need to do. It's when we bury ourselves in all the distractions, Okay, you know what it's like, and in retrospect, I was just diverting my attention. Okay, but the occasional you'll fall into a slump because something happened. Uh, People lose jobs, people, connections, friends. It's devastating, and I get it. It looks real, it feels real, it is real for you. You will reel from it for a while, but to stay there indefinitely, we're doing that. Okay, there's the thing that happened, how we take it, and then what we do after that. Okay, um, I don't know if you know this about our psychological build, but you may have seen like inspirational speakers who have lost hands and feet. Okay, uh, over a period of like 1 year to about 18 months. Okay, they cease to be depressed. Uh, they naturally bounce back. It's like we have a limit to the amount of mental anguish and suffering that our systems will allow us to take. Okay, anything above that is probably them innocently or not reinforcing a story in their heads. Okay, because I don't know if you notice this in children. One moment they're one emotion, the next moment they're another emotion. Okay, I think that's a beautiful thing. In adults, you have a 45 to 90-second burst of an actual emotion, then everything else is us reinforcing it. Okay, so you got angry, and then you percolated on and concentrated, ninamnam mo yung galit mo, and then you restart the emotion, and then you color it with other emotions, and you color it with other stories, and then you're angry for 2 hours, a day, a week, 2 weeks, a lifetime. Okay, but the genuine, real emotion. No, when the initial thought passed, the emotion passed. Okay, it's just we tell another story. Okay, but we don't have to. On the other hand, we can tell ourselves better stories, but we forget that we can do that, or we've never been told or taught that we can tell ourselves and other people better stories. I hope this is kind of making sense. Yeah, Carl and everybody else who's in here, by the way. Especially
Yes.
stranger stalker people. Yeah. Could the other folks introduce themselves? I don't even know what to do with Kulangot. I don't know what to do. Do you want to admit Kulangot into the room? I don't know. This is very important work. Did you guys see that? There was a pop-up. Do you want to admit Kulangot to the room? I don't know. Yeah, I have enough.
Admit mo na lang, tapos malay mo.
And this is an example of, to me, I'm sorry about this. This is an example of we're doing important work, but if people have no buy-in, like they aren't emotionally invested, we become the entertainment. And that's not the work we're here for. I'm sorry. Kung tropa to ni Ken, I'm sorry, bro. It's just tapos meme picture lang, tapos voice lang. Anong gagawin natin? It might be a genuine person, but can they kindly introduce themselves just so you know? Or call mo Ken kung admit mo or something. It's just I'm sorry. It'll just be hard for me to concentrate with can we get Kulangot to talk? Oy, Kulangot,
admit mo para malaman na siya rin naman mapapahiya dyan eh.
Baka mag-rename na lang.
The fact na pumasok siya na yun yung name, wala siyang pakialam.
Or baka yun yung pangalan niya dun sa previous na Zoom niya, di ba?
Okay.
Tapos lokohan.
Oh. Pero hindi ko alam kung sino yan ha. So, don't blame me for stuff. I'm just inviting friends, man.
Ako, isa lang
appreciate
invite ko si Gris lang.
Okay. I sent her the link as well.
Pero may kulangot ako, baka yun. Pero I mean...
Hindi, meron na tayo. Hindi na natin kailangan ng iba.
Yun nga I mean, yeah.
Anyway, um, could we kindly hear a bit from... Kasi ang narinig ko lang kay Arlene crypto eh. Uy, magkwento ka naman. May napulot ka ba from last time? Did you learn anything that you actually did something with?
Yeah, last time, yung first session, pulot ko dun is yung, di ba sabi ko yung dating parang puro vent out ako na I'm tired, pero na for a fact na hindi naman siya ganun, hindi naman ako mag-i-stay sa ganitong sitwasyon. I'm just setting yung operations nga ng startup business. Napulot ko dun is, yun nga yung rewrite yung story. I mean, maganda yung story na nasa akin. That's why I'm very productive. But I think, yun nga, in-audit ko siya. And also, napulot din ako from Olga. Parang, just learn. Kasi matututunan ka naman kahit mahirap yung sitwasyon. And na ano ko rin, yun nga. So, mas nag-eager ako na ayusin, mabilisan yung operation, mas naging aggressive ako in terms of marketing, may bagong restaurant and may opportunity ako may kausap ako sa Casino Filipino, yung purchasing manager doon, tapos yung mga Shopee hub dito, yan, may 3 hub na magkukuha din sa akin. So, mas inaggressive ko yung marketing ko na para makaalis na ako. Kasi parang siniset ko lang siya and gusto ko goods na to, may mga customer na, para yung focus ko hindi na siya fully doon. Babalik na ako doon sa agency ko and then yun sa work ko nga. So, yun lang. Mas sinipagan ko lang.
No, it's good. It's good. I hope you heard my little rant just a while ago regarding procrastination.
Yeah.
It looks like you got yourself out of a rut. You started doing things. Ratsyada.
Sobra.
Good job.
I'm doing things naman, kaya lang feeling ko, parang dahil sa sobrang pag-iinarte ko nga, nakakain yung energy ko. Alam mo yun?
I get it.
Parang, I'm gonna do it anyway. Bakit pa ako, diba? Reklamo. Ginawa ko na lang, parang ganun. So,
right. So again, there's that emotional component. Wala talaga nakukulayan tayo. Minsan kaya hindi natin ginagawa. One of the major reasons why we will do or won't do things are actually emotional. It's a funny thing. So I'm glad you got some of that sorted na. Good job!
thank you.
Keep going. Alright. Well, so we know. Olga?
Yeah, from what improvement I did from the last time that I was initially having issues with, and then
You
now,
want to share anything?
it was just basic structure like the EB. So I just figure out what's getting me and draining me, what shakes me the most, and then I sort it out. And yeah, it's doing better. So yeah.
Good to know. Good to know.
Yes.
Ay. Si Ken, maliban sa jokes, may napulot ba si Ken? Is fellow awake?
Madami ako napulot. Lahat. Yeah. Thanks.
Seryoso. Okay. Will the people who are on the call who are just there kindly introduce themselves? No? Let's start kicking them off the call.
So,
How do you do that? Oh, okay.
Salita si, Ay.
Oh, yeah, please.
yeah, kilala ko si Ken sa mga NLP cafes. And
Hey.
I'm finishing my master's in clinical psych. So I want to know more about techniques and tools for mental health to improve my arsenal.
Practice.
Okay. Is there anything you particularly are kind of stuck with or trying to sort out or figure